My screen visible? Okay. Also switch on the video. All right, I already see hands rising up. I shall take the questions at the end of the session. It's going to be a short one. I wanted to do this because I get a lot of question about is data science career, AI career relevant in 2023? Isn't it already saturated? Can we still pursue and switch transition to data science career? I thought of doing this and requested DataMites to host a quick session, and they have done it in a short notice. Thank you very much, DataMites and team. So I know this is a often asked questions. So rather than talking about my opinions, which I have a lot because I deal with not only the education edtech companies, but also work with many think tanks, organizations, and deliver a lot of projects across the world in data science and AI. So let's begin. You've been noticing a lot of layoffs, technology layoffs. All the big companies are laying off in thousands, and there is a concern about recession, looming economy, starting from US. Europe is worst hit. India is relatively okay, but there will be a mild impact. Well, if there is an impact in US, there will be impact all across the world. We can feel that. So with all this constraint, if you are not wondering whether to switch the career, what career is better, then you will be an exception. This is something which is going on everyone's mind, whether you're employed, already working in a company for a long time, you're in technology, even in non-technology. The current economical situation and the layoffs are making everyone to rethink. The better news is not every jobs are in a bad state. Like not everything is in the layoffs line. There are certain jobs which are still sound, and there is a Forbes report where you can see the recession surviving jobs in 2023. That was the title of the Forbes report. Last month, I think they have released it. Well, undoubtedly, there is a bunch of data jobs, and data scientist is in the top of the list, which will survive the recession with a milder impact. But there are also a large part of software developer jobs and many other jobs which will be surviving the recession. I will leave those reports and references in the below link of this webinar for your reading. If you look at the numbers, as of now, the initial report of US Bureau of Labor statistics, 11.5 million additional employment by 2026 in the field of data science and related analytics, etc. And last month, they have released another report. There is about 36% increase in growth of data science professions, data science related jobs for next 10 years. On an average, 36% increase year on year. And there is also a forecast from World Economic Forum about data science hold a highest growth and demand as compared to any other jobs. And these are all different. I also have other reports from other countries, including Indian government. So there are many think tanks, organizations like US Bureau of Labor Statistics, popular, the big companies like McKinsey and others, also governments, all are pointing towards a strong growth in the sector of data-related professions, particularly mentioning data science in the top of the list. All the references I have told you, I will be giving the links, and it can be presented in the video of this webinar. I took a few snapshots. Well, honestly, I don't have time to edit it, so I put a snapshot. But this is again few months before report from Forbes. It's talking about data science talent gap. So in around 2016-17, when most of the companies are at the initial levels of adapting the data science related initiatives, data science projects, data science as a field, right? From that time to now, the talent gap is actually increasing, which is a healthy sign that the data science as a field, the adaptation rate is much higher than we can produce the qualified professionals. I specifically use the word qualified professionals because many people claim to be a data science knowledgeable, uh, because I take hundreds of interviews on a weekly basis for data science and machine learning. We only find 5% to be qualified. Other 95% lack the foundation level knowledge. So they are not really qualified professionals, though they assume they are. Maybe a bit of more learning can help them to become qualified, a bit of more experience. But when I say a talent gap, I'm only considering the qualified data science professionals. So the talent gap has been increasing significantly. In 2020, the number of 2021, my apologies, the end of 2021, there was a report from Times of India and many other think tanks in India and also in US. So in India itself, closely 97,000 jobs, nearly 100,000 jobs were left unfilled because they couldn't find the qualified data science professionals. 2022 will be at least 50% more than the 2021. So I'm expecting 150,000, which we will know next month because there are many survey bodies and think tanks are working on collating that information. So that the gap, the number of unfilled jobs are actually increasing. All right. So my point here is that the gap is still increasing, and it is not what we thought in 2016. I started delivering my first project in 2016 as a first data science project, and it's now about 6 years down the line. We thought around 2022 there will be a saturation. All right. And COVID and other disruptions actually kind of like accelerated that action. So we really thought 2022 there will be a saturation happening. When you say saturation, the growth rate is minimized. The market is still big, but the growth year on year will be under 10-15%. So we are moving towards saturation is what we predicted 4 or 5 years ago. But if you see as on today, the growth of data science job, the adoption rate, the number of jobs coming into the market is above 50%. Some reports claim to be 68%. Some reports claim to be 53, 58, 55. So different think tanks from different regions, different bodies claim differently, but consistently, it's above 50% increase in number of jobs from year on year, which is nowhere near the maturity or the saturation. So, in my opinion, another 3 to 4 years, the data science growth will be maintained. And it is in line with the US US Bureau of Labor Statistics that they have predicted annualized till 2030, right? Average about 36% increase. That report was published October 2022, just a few months ago. So it clearly says that about 36% rise year on year for next 10 years till 2030. So it is in line with what I'm telling you and in line with all the other reports in the market. Have a business review. I picked it up just 10 minutes ago. So these are the guys who first said data science is the sexiest job of 21st century. And interestingly, they have published another article saying, is data scientist still the sexiest job in 21st century? And of course, they're concluding yes. In fact, if you read the entire report, the link is also in the screenshot itself. I'll ask DataMites team to share the presentation of whoever is attending this webinar. Maybe put this PPT there as well. But you can also simply search for it and you will find this, right? So they have actually concluded in a positive tone. Let me mark some things here. So you can see the data science job, the job and the field itself, grown in popularity and generally well paid. The field is projected to experience more growth than almost any other by 2029. So this is also in line with what the US Bureau of Statistics or the International Monetary Fund or the World Economic Forum. And there is also a report from Indian government, which is coming next. So all the projections are pretty much in line and they're very consistent. So this is something which everyone agrees that data science and analytics related jobs will be growing significantly in the next at least 6 to 7 years before it gets saturated, right? And you can read the entire report. I'm just showing you the summary. This is another report from McKinsey. And this report I picked up because this is talking about a data-driven enterprise of 2025. There are many companies, many large organizations already becoming data-driven enterprise. So when you say data-driven enterprise, you are essentially talking about a company's decisions, not just the senior management, where your CEOs and board of directors in general, and the senior management make decision with the data, but also everyone in the organization, including the middle level management, delivery managers, junior managers, right? In whatever industry it is, if entire organization, all the decision makers in the organization are making a data-driven decision, a valid data-driven decision, right? And then we call the organization as a data-driven enterprise. And if you look at the data-driven enterprise in 2025, as McKinsey is projecting, it is nearly all the employees naturally or regularly leverage data to support their work. And I'm a very strong advisor of McKinsey research and report. I've been following them for more than 15 years. So they have a very strong team. And in fact, a lot of my own research, I depend on McKinsey reports. So when they say this, and it is also in line with what I believe, that most of the decision-making jobs, all the employees in the organizations, I only talked about managers, but McKinsey is talking about all the employees in the organizations of whatever level and division and functions they are, they will be leveraging naturally, regularly the data to do their work, and which is essentially, increase a requirement, a demand for data professionals. All right. So before I move on to for the topics, I would like to take a little time to just tell you, when you say data science professionals, right? So data science related jobs, I would like to point out few job roles which is into core data science work, right? The first is, of course, the very high level. We can call them as uh, business leaders or domain experts, or generally, let's say, program managers who give you the requirement, who conceptualize the data science project. They set the goal, they give the reviews, they give the requirements for you. And then you have data scientists. Early days, data scientists used to do everything by themselves, from cleaning the data to modeling and deploying. But nowadays, if you look at data science, are more focused into enriching the data, bringing in insights, as well as modeling, machine learning modeling. Okay. And then there is a new field, new role which popped up, which is data engineers. Data engineers are becoming in a really high demand, right? And they're also getting actually very much equivalent to data science. There, statistically, their pay scale is slightly less than data scientists, but now the demand is so high. The salary is essentially driven by the price is essentially driven by demand and supply. The data engineers are in real demand because these are the folks who extracts the data from various different sources in the organizations, multiple data warehouse, data lakes, databases, applications, flat files. And then they create a data architecture where the data can smoothly flow from various business, wherever it is generated in the business areas, to your data science models or business analysts or whatever reports you have. This has become very prominent because this is the role which first gets the data and puts it into the it provides it for the further analysis. We also have seen another role, machine learning engineering, popping up. That's understandable because data scientists by nature are not software engineers, so they don't write a production ready code. They'll have a huge notebook which they have experimented stuff, achieved the goal, but this code is not ready for the production. And that is done by the machine learning engineers. Machine learning engineers convert this data science code into a production ready code, and then they deploy and maintain it. And we also have something called as a new role, which is called as MLOps, which is generally trying, if you look at DevOps, it's a very similar role. They'll ensure all of these processes are well connected, run smoothly with continuous integration, continuous deployment, continuous delivery pipelines, as well as continuous training, where the model is continuously trained, could be triggered by a data drift or frequency. So keep these technical discussions, whatever words I used, aside. In a simple sense, what I meant to say, there are already 4 different roles evolved over past 3 years, right, in data science. Each are specializing in individual areas. There are also many roles which focus more on the data analyst, which is purely on the data analysis from the business perspective, visual analysts, process consultants, delivery managers, data science architects who actually own the project and deliver it. We might expect many other niche roles pop up and they stabilize. So there's not just data scientists. When I refer data scientist, I meant to say all of the roles and the future roles which might pop up in the future. Okay. So the adoption rate, this is again a McKinsey report, 2022. The adoption rate for data science from, if you compare it from 2017 to what it is right now, this is actually the growth. Okay. So you can see that the growth in the adoption rate is actually not growth, it's adoption rate. So nearly 20, it is now hovering around 50%, which is about 2.5 times higher than what it is in the 2017. So you can roughly say 50% of the companies are now adapting, and this is actually growing over a period of time. There is a bit of saturation over here. But even if it is maintained, the adoption rate at this level is very high in terms of the job creations and the opportunities, new opportunities in the market. This is the one I'm talking about. This is from Ministry of India, External Affairs, Government of India. They put some figures. So the data science and data analytics jobs have witnessed about 30% surge in April 2022, which is last year, financial year, because we do financial year from March to April as compared to the 2021. And this year, we are expecting close to 45 to 50, which will be only relieved in another 3 months. But I know from the market, I looked at a LinkedIn report aggregated by one of the influencer, right? So it seems that we have the growth here is much, much higher. In fact, it's nearly around 50% more than what we have seen in the last financial year from India perspective. In June 2021, which was a year before, India contributed about 11.6 of the total jobs compared to the global numbers, global number of 9.4, increased due to the various companies using analytics and data science capabilities. So essentially, India has contributed. This is in 2021, so I don't have the numbers for 2022, but it will be much higher because the growth here is actually 30 to 50%. So roughly, I guess 2022, about 15% is the contribution of India to the entire world in terms of data science jobs, data science and data analytics jobs. For the 5th consecutive year, Bangalore, which I reside now, emerged as a top destination for analytics data science professionals with about 51,000 open jobs in the entire market, followed by other 2 cities in India. All right, so this is again an open report that you can actually look into it by yourself. But overall, India is doing very healthy, and the growth rates are actually increasing, not just the same, but the growth rate itself is increasing in a very healthy terms. So this growth we expect to be like this for another at least 3 to 5 years, and then maybe we can see a bit of saturation in 2026 is what the prediction is. There is another report from Boston Consulting Group, another respectable think tank, which most of the time they come up with a good predictions, a good study, and good analysis. So this report is more on the regulations. Now you see that AI is being adapted, is being adapted really widely, not just in one industry. If you look at the top industries, healthcare, finance, banking, retail, manufacturing, and many other logistics, and many other industries. So the need for regulation, regulating adoption is also being becoming very important. This particular report is talking about responsible AI. There are a lot of regulations. In fact, US has released, again, I did not put the link here, but you can simply Google for US AI framework, the policy framework. I have shared in my LinkedIn profile a month ago, I think a month ago. So they released in I think last month or the month before. So it's a huge document covering all the areas of application of AI and the rules around it, the compliance rules about it, the regulations. So it's kind of like a thick handbook of policy, which is released by US government just a month or month and a half before. Likewise, every country and nations across the world are coming up with their regulatory terms, which in fact it's not going to hinder. It is going to make more sense for many other domains to adapt, because if you have a strong regulations framework around technology, or in this case it's technology, right? The adaptation rate will go up because there'll be more confidence. There'll be more easy for certain sensitive areas like security, army, defense, and medical and other areas, which can actually, maybe they are not adapting it for many different gaps in the regulation. This regulatory terms frameworks coming into the picture will give us more confidence to adapt AI in the areas which is not thriving as of now because of the regulatory issues. This is also pushing the adoption, right? Having a regulatory framework in place by the governments will enable many bodies, organizations to push towards adapting AI and data science in a larger perspective. So, my opinion, which is in line with most of the think tanks, government bodies, and statistical surveys bureaus, is that data science as a professionals or data science professionals will endure as long as organizations use the data to make business decisions and solve problems, which is like forever. So what I meant to say is that data science professionals will not have any, will not have any dip, or they will be enduring all of the recessions and any economical situations, disruptions happening in the future, because this is core. So if you look at any business, the core of the business is the data-driven decisions and solving problems with data. That's all. Taken 30 minutes. Now I have time for question and answer. I'm more than happy to take questions now. If the video is live streamed, as I can see. So if you have questions from other channels, I request DataMites team to copy paste it in this Zoom webinar. Okay. I have two questions. First, I have a question from Maruf. Says, sir, what will be the priority focus, either data engineer or data scientist? Okay. This is a question which, see, there is nothing like, all three roles are very good, but I'm going to give you a good answer, not a diplomatic answer. I know you are confused, right? It depends on your ambitions and career, right? If you're good with the data, you don't want to go into ML modeling, because data scientist role is mostly trial and error. There'll be a lot of iterations you do, and then you kind of come up with a model which works, and you use a lot of data transformation, feature engineering. It's more like a solving a puzzle. So some people may not like it. Some people want more structured job, where they might actually have defined sources. They bring the data, clean it, transform it, more a standard administration, or more in a standard way to work. Data engineers are more structured, right? And their work is primarily to handle the data, big data, if you really talk, that's what, and also connecting to various different sources, making sure the data model is working, consistent, secure, backup in place, which is, which is most of the time if you're using cloud, it is an inbuilt feature, and ensuring the data is available for all the business stakeholders, including data scientists, models in the right way. That is data engineer. Okay. And obviously, data engineers are paid relatively less than data scientists, but that gap is really coming down because data engineers are in real demand. And also, data engineers usually you see they are the juniors, so they're in the beginning of the careers, kinds. When you look at data scientists, you know what is data scientists. They're mostly working on the machine learning models. They don't have to be great programmers. They should be really good in machine learning algorithms and data related aspects. ML engineers, on the other side, need to be really good in programming because their work is to translate the data scientist, whatever the notebook, the solution, into a production ready. So they have to write the code in a structured format, hoops concepts, exception handling, memory management, and deploy it. So ML engineer requires you to be mostly a software developer with a machine learning knowledge. Data scientists require more analytical skills, machine learning skills, data and business skills. Data engineer is more structured, data skills, connecting databases, ensuring it's available to the other stakeholders. So what you choose is based on what's your interest, Maruf. Okay, I have two more questions, but it just disappeared. I don't know. It has been already answered, maybe. Any other questions from the other streams? Oh, I have questions here in the chat box. Okay. The question is, what type of data science and AI jobs are in demand in 2023? All of them are in demand. Data scientist job itself is in 3.5 million kinds by one estimate, right? India itself come near a million jobs in 2023. US is around 1.8 million jobs. In fact, US and India jobs are kind of interlinked. This is the numbers, right? Data engineer, I don't have a specific data engineer. Whatever I told you, it's together. Data engineer will be 40% of data scientist job as of now, and it is really on rise. I can send you more proper research if you can, I'm going to give my, let me see if I can, share. So if I can give you my LinkedIn ID. Please go ahead and, okay, where is my chat box? Yeah. So that's my LinkedIn ID. Drop me a message. I'll find a more comprehensive report answering your question. Okay. I have another question from LinkedIn. How can a job seekers prepare for emerging opportunities in data science and AI? So essentially, it's about nearly 8 months of learning. You pick up a structured learning course where you have covering all the aspects. In fact, DataMites provides a course called a Certified Data Scientist and AI Expert. Certified Data Scientist includes mostly machine learning, everything including your Python statistics, and about 17 different tools which are prominently used in the market. So about 8 months course. You can choose that. If you want to move up in the later AI expert, it could be only after you complete your machine learning. And AI expert is another 4 months, right? So you take a structured course, not that you don't have free courses in the market. In fact, I'm one of the person who always say everything you want to learn about data science and AI and ML, it's out there for free in YouTube and other channels. But enrolling for a structured course, if you can find an affordable one, then it will help you to be on track, a structured learning, what to learn, what not to learn, and a mentor always there with you to help you to move to the next level. Always choose the live sessions, definitely not that e-learning one. That will help you to, put your efforts in a right way in a shorter term. When it's a shorter term, 6 to 8 months is really short to become a data scientist. In the shorter term, you could actually become market ready. Always remember, time is the most valuable thing. So a structured mentored course will help you to reduce your overall learning curve, and then thereby you can get into the market faster. Okay, so his name is Muhammad Inos. Yeah, I hope that answers the question. I have another question. I don't know from whom, I think from LinkedIn again. What impact will the development of artificial intelligence have on the job market in 2023? So AI jobs, I mean, there is a concern that it will eat away other jobs, like the chatbots and other things, kind of like going to disrupt the BPO industry in India, especially in many other developing nations where the BPO industry is a big one, right? I would say yes. So there will be a significant disruption of BPO industry as well as support related. All of these will be disrupted. So roughly 30 to 35 jobs in this segment, 35% jobs in this segment will disappear. I have read this in one of the McKinsey reports. I don't remember it correctly what is the title, but I can share it across if you reach me over the LinkedIn. So about 30 to 35% of the jobs in BPO and support jobs will be disrupted. Means it will disappear because AI will replace them in most of the ways, right? That is on the negative side. On the positive side, AI will also create a lot many jobs. If you look at the data engineer jobs or any data jobs, it's created by AI because to make the AI run, organization has to really revamp the data strategy, right? Which includes redeveloping many applications, connecting many different sources, transforming their data the way they handle the data. So this itself will create, in fact, I would say this will create even more jobs than what AI jobs are actually, at least two times. If there are 100 jobs, AI jobs are created, there will be 200 jobs which are created at the big bottom level, which is more on the supporting this AI related initiatives and projects. So there will be a lot of jobs created by AI as well. How likely will AI replace data scientist related jobs? There are two different things. So I don't see any automatic algorithms which can deal with data directly. So that requires a lot of human sense. So there is a lot of people think that AI will take over data science jobs. Maybe 10 years later, there might be some improvement. But let me tell you, data actually requires human sense, especially when you have, right, the current state of data is such a way that you really need a human sense, common sense, business sense to do it. And I do not think auto ML or any other algorithms can replace those jobs in a short time frame. That is definitely not the immediate concern. Okay, at least not for next few years. Okay, let's have another question. What type of skills and abilities will be necessary for the success in data science and AI careers in coming months? Yeah, so essentially Python, if you're looking for data science career, Python statistics, a very good knowledge in machine learning, not just the how it machine learning works, a practical projects knowledge where you can apply machine learning, solving business problems, creating predictive models, right? And if you can get that along with many other tools, let's say Tableau for visual analytics, a big data knowledge, data architecture, Apache Airflow, orchestration, SQL knowledge to get the data, all of these are required. I have written a blog. I will share it across if you ping me in LinkedIn. I'll share it across the blog, which basically contains everything what you need to become a data scientist. And please remember, no one can learn everything required to become a data scientist because it's really a lot of related topics, right? You need to know the core areas and a very high learning coefficient, which means you should be able to learn and catch up things very fast. Just a couple of years ago, TensorFlow was a very nascent stage. Now you look at TensorFlow has become a platform it's from Google. We use TensorFlow for a lot of our project delivery. And also Amazon, AWS, SageMaker, Amazon SageMaker, Azure, ML Studio, all of these tools, cloud tools have become really mature. It's in a way that with a very minimal work, you can do the end-to-end data science and machine learning modeling from annotation of the data to deployment, and then the endpoints are attached to the corresponding APIs. everything can be done in the cloud platform. The technology is moving so fast. So you need to have a very good learning IQ or learning capability, right? And then know the key concepts. And that is good enough to get into the market. If an employer, in fact, if I'm taking an interview, I look at your fundamentals, foundational key concepts, and your real-time experience, if you have any. And then what I look at is essentially your learning capability. Or will you be able to learn things faster? That actually matters more than what you know today. Okay. Okay, so what kind of certifications? You can go for any certifications. There are so many certifications. Well, the one I closely work with, also with DataMites, is IABAC, uh, which is uh, International Association of Business Analytics Certification. This is one. We have certifications from IBM. We have certifications from um, many other bodies, right? So certification, one or two certification is good enough. It will give you an attention. So your profile will be at the top, but that's not going to get you a job. Your skills are very important to get a job. I would also give equal or even more importance to the internship for you to get into the job market easily. So doing something or hands-on live with a internship is more important. It would be equally important to certification. Yes. Okay, great. I have no more questions from other channels. I have two questions here in Zoom itself. As you know, data scientists should have specialized or very high level skill set. As it a non-IT professional background, yeah, 60-70% of the people who are transitioning into data science, at least for the people who are in touch with, which are already more than 15,000 aspirants, are from non-IT background. So most people I have congratulated who got their jobs, who've been working for years already as a data scientist, are from non-IT background. So non-IT background is perfectly fine. A lot of people from mechanical, civil, and many other areas go into data science, transition to data science successfully. So that's not a problem. Another last question. I'm highly enthusiastic in the field. More questions. PhD is not a mandatory field. PhD is required when you enter into data science research work. Let's say I'm doing a cancer diagnosis. So maybe as someone who has done a research on the medical field are more relevant. So PhD is only needed if you are going into very specified high-level research jobs, which requires data science. Otherwise, you do not need a PhD. Okay. And you need about 11 million people. You think you can produce 11 million PhDs? No, that is not a requirement. But if the companies ask for a PhD in their request, so they might really need it, then yeah, then you should know. Then that's not a job for you. I have one question again from other channels. Is it a good pay? Is it good to pay a huge amount for data science course or choose a free course? I would say don't pay too much. So in US dollars, I would say anything under $1,000 is fine for 6 to 7 months, because a person has to be attached to you for mentoring and then teach, and then they take care of a lot of things. So if you're paying $15,000-$20,000 as a course fees for universities and other things, I don't think it may not be that worth it, right? So anything under $1,000 is still fine, and that is good, and that will actually pay you more because you are able to save the time. If you're doing it for the free course, because obviously there are no personal attached to it, you might have an e-learning, which could be very good, but then you have to find an internship, then you have to find a person to answer all of your questions. So if you put all the efforts together and then do the math, taking a paid course is better, but not don't pay a very huge price. Try to find an affordable institute with a good proposition and good reviews. That should be good enough. Okay. So remember, time is more important. So from that perspective, I suggest a paid course. If you want a free course, I can also refer them. You can just reach me. In fact, I have written a blog which talks about all the free courses available, which are good standards. I can share you that as well. All right. Thank you very much for your time. I wish you a good career transition 2023. And hopefully there won't be any bad disruptions happening in 2023. I wish you all a very best and happy new year. Thank you.